continue to explore the creepy crashed insurrection ship. Stopped before another big fight of a bunch of assholes that I didn't want to mess with. Now we're gonna go mess with them.
Let us not dawdle.
Join me in prayer.
You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Make you maggoty corpse!
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Who, if not me? On it. I'll see to it personally.
Ah, I hate missing.
High momentum. I need a foothold. But of course, Lord. I'm done with this high momentum.
Ow.
I won't go down easy.
Ancestors, guide me! If it serves your cause. I am not your Xenos pet, monkey.
A tactically sound approach. It will be done. I'm not interested. Follow my lead. One fewer target. At your beck and call. I took care of this one.
I know what I'm doing, usually. I can do that with the right incentive. Don't get too cocky.
Oh, I gotta hit over here. Oh, yeah, I gotta take that thing out.
You've got a problem. I've got a prize. I'll do it. I am the Tempest. I am his will made manifest. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act. Each strike is a prayer.
What happened? Huh.
And done.
I always keep my options open.
Block, because I didn't find a key. All right. I guess there's nothing here.
Is there money to be made?
There's always money to be made.
I know how to take risks.
I'm watching your back. Always. I won't object to it. I serve the Golden Throne. For the throne's glory.
Hoping I can break it.
Naturally.
Keep your wits about you.
Okay, let's see if we...
Always keep your eye on prize.
We had to bring a deer on. I need her lore. I think I missed something because I didn't have a good enough lore.
Let us not dawdle. I always have a backup plan.
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treaties on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
I have a nose for profit and a taste for adventure.
What advice do you seek? I will do my duty. Victory is imminent.
Oh well.
Is there money to be made?
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Keep your wits about you.
That's good enough. Lord Captain, this is Boxmaster Vigdis Talaman speaking. I hope your heroic expedition was a success. What will be your further instructions? The machine spirit of this vessel is dead and defiled. It should be sent to the Omnisci in a proper nuclear funeral rite. Bombard the vessel. Let the dead follow the dead. As you wish, Lord Captain. The power of our main battery should be enough to penetrate the glacier and evaporate the vessel completely. Alright. I really wish we could find our... I remember to keep my eye out for that little icon when I'm exploring systems. I think that popped open a while ago and I just didn't notice it. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Online, I report that the quest for the capital world of the Valencius dynasty is finally at an end. Dargonis is straight ahead. We have received countless greetings. Your subjects would like to know when their mistress will be arriving. The merchant captain is taking refuge in orbital docks on Dragonis Race to send you priceless welcome gifts, hoping to buy your favor and make an impression on the rogue trader. Tell Dargonis the rogue trader is coming home. It will be done, Lord Captain. After the connection to the Master Helmsman is cut, the last crack of Henrik's voice. Lord Captain, I am pleased to accompany you during your visit to Dragonis so I can personally introduce Achilles Scalendar, a servant of the Golden Throne who previously attended Lady Theodora on Dargonis. I am counting on your benevolence. Yes, yes. Surprised none of these have names. Wish you could rename them. That would be more fun. Lord Captain, transport shuttle bearing the markings of the Adeptus Mechanicus is approaching the ship. Magios Tarsus' delegation intends to board a ship and gain an audience with your ladyship. This is exactly how they phrased it. He intends, not humbly requests. Many of my tech comrades neglect diplomacy when interacting with the laity. It is regrettable. Receive the delegation. They may indeed be here on important business. It will be done, Lord Captain. Requesting permission to be present at the audience granted to my tech comrades? Of course. A group dressed in the crimson of the priesthood of Mars walks towards you. Their gazes are fixed on Pascal. Note that the group is not monolithic. Some of the members are more heavily armed and follow a large tech priest clad in battle armor. Others keep a respectful distance and cast inquiring looks at their own leader, whose hunched posture belies his tall frame. Despite the hood hiding his face, you recognize him as Opticon 22, whom you encountered on football. The enormous tech priest points his hand at Pascal and lets out a booming roar, not unlike a factory alarm. Makes your very bones vibrate. Herald service skulls marked with the emblem of the cog following his wake. They blare shrilly. Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge, for rust begets rust. Pascal Hanuman, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest. The hunched servant of the Omnissiah turns to you. Diplomacy mode engaged. Announcement. The Adeptus Mechanicus offer their apologies, would like to inform you of the necessity of conducting an operation to detain, arrest, terminate a faulty unit on the rogue trader's territory. You identify the rare armor the tech priest is wearing as Secutor's plated mechanized suit. It carries the imprints of many battles and has markings that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor damage looks fairly severe to the point of endangering its operation. The slivers of flesh revealed under the seal are marked with terrible chemical burns. Every now and then, convulsions shake the tech priest's body and a painful sounding hiss comes from his box. The tall tech priest who spoke to you looks more peaceful and makes a point of not drawing his weapon. There is an air of concern about the way he frequently glances over at his fellow, scrutinizing his condition. What charge are you trying to arrest a member of my retinue? This heretic is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy on the world of Kiava Gamma, and making an attempt on the life of a servant of the Omnissiah. The deafening roar from the tech priest's box makes you grimace in pain. You touch your ear and notice blood on your fingers. This faulty unit will be removed. In the name of the Omnissiah, I condemn you. Lightning flashes across the warrior's armor. Agony resounds in the blare of his box alarm. In contrast, Pascal speaks quietly, coldly. You are malfunctioning, tech comrade. I deem your logical conclusions questionable. The statement is false. Tech brother Tarsus Hanuman is willingly undergoing holy torment deterioration, which, however, does not clearly affect his cognitive capacity for data analysis. Unit calling itself Pascal Hanuman, we have information that implicates you. Having learned that you are a member of the retinue, a maintenance specialist in the service of Rogue Trader von Valentis, we have come here with the goal of meeting you, intercepting you, engaging you in combat. Do you have proof that this tech priest is who he claims to be? Confirmed. According to archive entry 1E99237, Magios Explorator Tarsus Hanuman served on and maintained the ship. Identifier classified in the capacity of a reliquary caretaker. He sustained extensive damage to both the organic and the sacred part of his body in a series of sacrilegious breaches of the rights of operation and assassination attempts. Owing to a statistically fortunate coincidence, by the Omnissiah's grace, enough of his operational capacity was preserved for him to don a Goliath model sacred battle harness, which would preserve his vital functionality. Archive entry personally data sealed by the captain of the identifier classified. For vengeance I thirst as I tread the path of vengeance, following a blasphemous miscreant's bloody tracks. Analysis of the security system showed the assassin heretics infiltrated the reliquary using Tech Brother Tarsus' unique identification code. Someone had stolen and duplicated Brother Tarsus' identity, which is a grade 3 transgression, and the unit making the allegedly criminal claim of being Pascal Hanuman is known to have previously entered the stolen code. Does the big fella have to roar every time he opens his goddamn mouth? Negative. On completing his sanctification procedure, Tech Brother Tarsus bowed modifies his engrammatic augmetics algorithms in order never to desecrate, sully, tarnish his mouthbox cognitive process with flesh speak. Mine is a pure Benoric tongue that preserves only what is true and shuns scrap data. Are you saying this bloodthirsty Hulk is a saint? This statement is true. Brother Tarsus has the honor of wearing authorization to wear the sacred battle harness that belonged to Magos Militant Auspector Gracchus, one of the first champions of the faith holy scouts to join the cause of conquering the Coronis expanse. After his death, the termination of his vital functions at the hands of Xenos, his damaged Goliath-class armor was preserved and given the status of a relic. The Adeptus Mechanicus regard this act as voluntary martyrdom, self-destruction, for the glory of the Deus Mechanicus. This battle harness is classified as Cogni armor. The machine spirit living in it is strong and wise, but it took damage in the course of the Magus Greca's last battle. Besides sacred litanies and imperatives of service to the Omnissiah, the armor broadcasts a continuous signal of suffering and agony into Tech Brother Tarsus' mind. Wait a minute. What is happening to you on Kiawagama? That planet belongs to me. According to Vox interception data, the planet's fabricator sensor made incorrect blasphemous modifications to manufacturing and working procedures, which qualifies as a lapse into sacrilege. The Adeptus Mechanicus are hereby officially notifying Haus von Valentius of having commenced an investigation into Operation Remove Fabricator Sensor Cubus Delphum. Estimated time of procedure complete 3.7 solar years. Our data suggests that the unit which used Magus Explorator Hanneman's identification code performed an unauthorized upgrade on the planetary Vox array and introduced data deemed to be scrap code into its operation. This fact points to this unit's criminal complicity within the heretic Cubus Delphine. What do you have to say to this, Pascal? I deny these charges. I'd never plotted against my tech comrade. My cognitive purity vows were never distorted. My unique identification code was never stolen. I am the true Magus Explorator Hanuman, and I am not guilty. False witness! I'm not handing Pascal over to you unless I see evidence. Let's get to the bottom of this matter together. Request approved. Ready to work in cooperative mode. Tarsus gives you a haughty look and lets out a howl of wrath. Archiving. Tech Brother Tarsus opposes lay participation in the investigation search for the truth. The unit Opticon 22 advises in favor of the Haus von Valentius representative's participation request. Pascal has accompanied me on my travels for a while now, and I can swear to it that he is no criminal. Request for cooperation reviewed and accepted. I request Tech Brother Tarsus' consent to co-participation of representatives of the von Valentius dynasty in the investigation proceedings. A sacrilegious conspiracy. I refuse help from the laypersons. I am a cog of the Deus Mechanicus that grinds down corruption, and I will carry out the sentence immediately. Pascal freezes, but green sparks light up into his visor. He extends a hand toward Tarsus and replies in a clanging voice, "Let the cycle be discontinued." Realize Pascal's words are coming from both his own Vox and Tarsus. Then every sensor on the executioner's bridle harness lights up at once blindingly, and the wounded armored Leviathan lets out a deafening roar of pain. Attention, priority notification. Searchers of the Kappa Threats supply line are unauthorized to confront the rogue traitor. Command, retreat and reinitiate negotiations. Heretic Pascal, I will wreak punishment upon you in the name of Deus Mechanicus.
I'll make an example out of you!
Come to chaos!
There I go, trying to be diplomatic. That bit me in the end.
My vow is to...
That had better be ineptitude, not malice.
It was.
The script natural prognosis is favorable. The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all. The order is contrary to dogmatic protocols. Request approved.
But of course, Lord Captain. The Emperor is on our side. I won't object to that. Your reckoning is due. For the throne's glory.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call. Reduced to dust. Indeed. At your beck and call.
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. For you, my Emperor! Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act. Rejoice in battle!
It's as good as done. I'll make it happen.
High momentum.
Here's my perfect moment. I'll see to it personally. Your end was inevitable. Taking calculated risk is my second nature.
Pain cleanses the body.
Emperor, give me strength. If I may, as duty demands.
Brace yourself, Avalon!
Do not dare ask. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I'll do it. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. As the Emperor commands, I act. This is why I was chosen. I'll do it.
Request approved. The Messiah condemns you.
Request cessation of hostilities? Point to Tarsus. Help your brother. The unit that called itself Tarsus Hanuman is dead, has been disabled. This material asset is beyond restoration or reuse as spare parts. After a pause, Pascal bows his head and his binaural requiem pours out of his box. Despite his misconceptions, he was a servant of Messiah. I am sorry that you had to kill a comrade. I also regret having a negative assessment of this event. The Adeptus Mechanica still accused the unit of identifying itself as Pascal Hanuman of criminal theft of a unique identification code. Unlike Tech Brother Tarsus, I am not authorized to immediately arrest execute the unit, but neither am I authorized to drop the inquiry. There are no apostates among us. The piercing voice from the box synthesis more overwhelming than Tarsus' thunderous roar. Tech Brother Tarsus and the machine spirit that lived in his battle harness have succumbed to the suffering that beset them. Their judgment was rash and erroneous. Now their torment is over. I declare them martyrs, and am requisitioning Tarsus Hanuman's neural augmetic for the purpose of preserving his blessed memory. An astonished tech priest look on. Pascal leans over the slain man's body and extracts the augmetic from his skull. His movements are as precise as they are respectful. Listen, sounds. With each word, Pascal's voice grows more powerful and majestic. You saw the agony your tech brother Tarsus was in. His unbridled pain spurred faith, intimidated you, yet you were silent. Reverence stopped you from raising your voice to proclaim that the machine spirit with which his mind had emerged was morbidly affected. The imperative of reverence has paralyzed your will, and you watched the tragedy unfold in silence. The sixth universal law states that comprehension is the true path to knowledge. Yet the procedural cycle has robbed you of your comprehension. Therefore, let the cycle be discontinued. There's a clang as the Opticon's knee pressed to the floor. Crimson Hood heads are bowed. Let the cycle be discontinued. The radiant light pouring out of Pascal's visor grows dim. Static creeps back into his voice. Let the cycle be discontinued, tech comrades. Pascal, there's one small point I'm not clear on. What the fuck just happened? I decided to sustain my words with an excerpt from one of the Blessed Amarnat's sermons on loss of internal and external function, verse 4. My analysis deemed it appropriate. And what was the reason for that act of genuflection? It has been a long time since the words of the Messiah of discontinuing were last spoken openly over public communication bans. We respectfully welcome wisdom's return. So he is not forgotten after all. The Messiah of discontinuing, is that how you refer to Amarnats? Following the Archmagus Amarnat's partial lactation removal from the chain of command, that was the authorship attribution on a series of sermons on discontinuing the cycle that were disseminated across the Cognizance fleets. It was, in fact, a title used by many in times past. Is Amarnat's teaching not heretical? This statement is false. Contrary to what many servants of the Omnissiah thought they knew preferred to believe, the Fleet's Supreme Conclave never issued an official statement on that decision. 37% of the Supreme Conclave's members openly supported Archmagus Amarnat's view and disappeared were removed from the chain of command under circumstances that were classified. The Supreme Conclave has not had a quorum ever since. Do you know where Amarnat is now? Data unavailable. No reports have mentioned Archmagus Amarnat since the incident on the Arch Mechanicus Hermetico, which led to the presumed destruction and disappearance of that void ship. My archive has no data on the Hermetico incident. The vessel was the Blessed Amarnat's base of operations. It is lost, then? Pascal's voice is filled with anxiety. Were you among his followers? Negative. I had no contact with Archmagus Amarnet and was never a member of his flock disciples' retinue. However, my analysis of the doctrine he outlined inspired me in deep respect for trust in him. I presume the conflict between you and Pascal has been resolved? The data received provides a basis for calling the fallen tech brother Charles' hypothesis into question. Out of respect for, due to lack of authorization to indict, followers of the Messiah of discontinuing, we will not proceed with the detainment, arrest, termination. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Thank you, Tech Brother Opticon 22. Now that the conflict has been resolved, you may remain aboard my ship. Request denied. The Kappa Threat Supply Line delegation is leaving Dragonus, expressed gratitude for the hospitality ceasefire, and proclaims its intent to return to football to resume performing its regular functions. The tech priest looks over at Pascal as if waiting for something. Pascal's mechanodrite briefly touches the shoulder of Opticon 22, who bows respectfully. Alrighty. Slow look again.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Alright, that's where we're going to stop for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you are, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It means a lot, helps channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Until next time, love you guys. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.